You will work 50 years and still be broke if you follow the path that most people blindly walk. Day after day, millions trade their time for money, believing security lies in a paycheck. But the truth is, security is an illusion when your future depends solely on wages and not on vision. Too many spend their lives building someone else's dream while their own remains buried beneath fear, doubt, and excuses. The tragedy is not that people work hard. It is that they work hard without direction, without ownership, and without the courage to step into their true potential. You are not meant to live 50 years just to end up with nothing to show but tired hands and regrets. You are meant to rise above average, to master your mind, and to shape your destiny with intention and purpose. Wealth begins in the mind before it exists in the bank, because every outward result is a reflection of an inward cause. The riches you seek, whether in money, opportunities, or freedom, first take root as thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes. The mind is the workshop where every fortune is built, and if you fill it with scarcity, limitation, and doubt, no amount of effort can break you free from lack. But when you discipline your imagination to see abundance, to believe in possibility, and to hold the picture of a life greater than your present conditions, you lay the foundation for wealth long before it appears in numbers or possessions. Many people work tirelessly chasing money, yet their inner conversation is saturated with fear of losing, with worry about bills, and with thoughts of not being enough. As a result, they sabotage their own progress, blind to the opportunities that pass before them, because their minds are tuned to poverty. Wealth does not come by accident. It comes by aligning thought with vision and training the subconscious to accept success as natural. When a person thinks like a creator instead of a victim, their choices change, their confidence rises, and their actions grow bolder. Ideas arrive because the mind is ready to receive them. And those ideas are the gold mines that create lasting fortune. Wealth is not simply money, it is the awareness of plenty, the recognition of infinite possibilities, and the ability to act upon them with faith. Before the first dollar is earned, the image of prosperity must be seen in the imagination so vividly that it feels real. What you truly believe about yourself sets the limit or the liberation of your financial life. If you secretly think you are destined for struggle, you will unconsciously make decisions that keep you there. But if you believe you are worthy of abundance, doors open where others see walls. The wealthy are not different because they were born lucky. They are different because their inner world is tuned to expansion, opportunity, and growth. They expect wealth, and therefore they attract it. Just as a farmer does not plant seeds of corn expecting to harvest weeds, you cannot plant thoughts of lack and expect prosperity to grow. The harvest always matches the seed, and the seed is your thought. The greatest fortunes in history began as invisible ideas in someone's mind, ideas that others could not see but that were nurtured until they manifested. To build wealth, start by mastering your mental state. See yourself as already in possession of the life you desire. Speak the language of abundance, act as though prosperity is your natural state, and discipline your inner dialogue to reject every whisper of limitation. In time, the outer world bends to the conviction of the inner one, and wealth flows where the mind has already claimed it. Time invested in growth returns greater riches than time spent in routine, because growth multiplies value while routine only maintains it. Routine keeps you moving in circles, doing the same tasks that ensure survival but never expansion. It is the comfort zone disguised as productivity, the cycle of repetition that consumes hours, days, and years without producing transformation. Growth, on the other hand, demands that you step into the unfamiliar, stretch your limits, and seek knowledge that elevates you beyond where you currently stand. Every moment spent learning a new skill, sharpening your mind, or building character compounds into opportunities and wealth that routine can never produce. The mind expands with study, the spirit strengthens with challenges, and the future brightens with preparation. Those who devote their time to growth plant seeds of success that will yield harvests far greater than the immediate rewards of routine. A person may work decades in the same pattern and end up exhausted with little to show, because routine rarely creates leverage. But the one who invests time into self-development, new ideas, and personal mastery gains tools that produce freedom, innovation, and abundance. The power of growth lies in its compounding nature. A single skill mastered today can open countless doors tomorrow, while repetition of the same old actions leaves you standing in place. Time is the most valuable currency you own. and how you spend it determines the quality of your destiny. Growth transforms time into an asset, while routine drains it into obligation. The wealthiest individuals are not simply those who work the hardest, but those who chose to grow the most, to expand their awareness, to seek knowledge others overlooked, and to apply it with discipline. Growth creates adaptability in a world that constantly changes, while routine breeds fragility and fear of the unknown. Every hour you dedicate to growth builds a foundation of confidence, skill, and vision that cannot be taken from you regardless of external circumstances. It is growth that sharpens the imagination, that sparks creativity, and that allows you to see opportunities where others see barriers. Routine may provide comfort today, but growth ensures freedom tomorrow. When you choose growth, you invest in your future self, the one capable of achieving more, commanding more, and creating more. Time is fleeting, and every choice you make with it either builds your tomorrow or keeps you trapped in yesterday. The riches of life, financial, spiritual, and personal, do not come from clinging to the familiar, but from daring to expand. Growth transforms effort into achievement, turns challenges into stepping stones, and converts years into legacies. Routine maintains existence, but growth multiplies it into abundance. Dependence on wages alone chains the spirit to limitation, because it creates the illusion of security, while silently restricting freedom. When your entire livelihood is tied to a paycheck, you are confined within boundaries set by someone else's vision, someone else's rules, and someone else's valuation of your worth. Wages are designed to cover survival, not to unlock true prosperity. And when a person relies solely on them, they trade their most valuable asset, time, for the smallest return. The spirit was not created to merely exist within the limits of another system, but to expand, create, and express its own power. Yet, countless people spend their lives chasing wages, believing it is the only way, and in doing so, they sacrifice independence for dependency. True freedom comes from creating streams of income that grow beyond hours worked, from building ideas that outlive the effort it took to make them real, and from using imagination as capital. Wages keep you in a cycle where every month begins at zero, demanding constant labor to fill the same needs again and again, leaving no room for lasting wealth. This cycle suppresses creativity because the mind is too busy worrying about the next paycheck to dream of bigger possibilities. The chains are invisible but heavy, as they keep people tied to jobs they dislike, environments that drain them, and schedules that steal their vitality. Dependence on wages conditions people to accept limitations as normal, to measure their potential only by what is offered in an envelope or bank transfer, rather than what is possible through vision and initiative. The danger lies not in working, but in believing wages are the ultimate answer to prosperity. Wages should be a stepping stone, not a final destination, because the spirit thrives on independence, ownership, and the ability to shape life on one's own terms. Wealth requires breaking the cycle by learning to multiply income, to invest in self, to create assets that generate value beyond physical effort. When dependence is broken, the spirit awakens, because it recognizes that opportunity is not confined to an employer's generosity, but to the boundless possibilities of thought and action. The human spirit grows restless when trapped in routine dependency, for deep within, it knows it was meant for more than survival. Limitation vanishes the moment one shifts from the mindset of an employee to the mindset of a creator, from asking for wages to demanding results from one's own initiative. The spirit finds freedom not in the certainty of a paycheck, but in the certainty of its own power to create value that the world rewards. To live chained to wages alone is to live in fear of loss, but to build beyond wages is to live in confidence of gain. Only by breaking that dependence does one step into true prosperity, where wealth is not limited by hours worked, but expanded by vision and courage. True prosperity demands vision, discipline, and unwavering belief, because prosperity is not a matter of chance, but of conscious creation. Vision is the seed from which all achievement grows, the mental picture of a future that does not yet exist but burns so clearly within the imagination that it guides every step. Without vision, life drifts aimlessly, chasing temporary rewards instead of building lasting fulfillment. Prosperity requires seeing beyond present circumstances, imagining possibilities that others dismiss, and holding to that image even when evidence seems absent. Yet vision alone is not enough, for dreams without action dissolve into wishes. Discipline becomes the bridge between thought and reality, the consistent effort that transforms a mental picture into tangible results. Discipline means rising early, persisting through difficulty, and refusing to surrender to distractions or temporary setbacks. It is the force that turns intention into habit and habit into achievement. But even vision and discipline can falter if belief is weak. Unwavering belief is the power that sustains effort when progress seems invisible, when critics speak louder than encouragement, and when obstacles appear larger than opportunities. Belief is the fuel of resilience, the inner certainty that says, "I will achieve no matter how long it takes, no matter what stands in the way." Prosperity demands all three working together. For vision without discipline is fantasy, discipline without vision is labor without purpose, and both without belief collapse under pressure. Those who achieve true prosperity are not necessarily the most talented or the most fortunate, but those who dared to see beyond the ordinary, trained themselves to act consistently, and believed so strongly that their minds refused to accept failure. Prosperity is not measured only in money, but in freedom, influence, and the ability to live life by design rather than by default. Vision creates the map, discipline follows the path, and belief fuels the journey until the destination is reached. Each challenge faced along the way is not a barrier but a test of strength, asking whether one's vision is strong enough, whether one's discipline is steady enough, and whether one's belief is unshakable enough to continue. True prosperity demands more than skill. It demands the mastery of self, for external wealth is always a reflection of internal strength. When vision is held with clarity, discipline practiced with consistency, and belief maintained with certainty, prosperity is inevitable. Because the mind that refuses to yield will always create circumstances to match its conviction. The world bends to those who see clearly, act relentlessly, and believe unconditionally. For they carry within themselves the unbreakable formula that transforms possibility into reality. Success is built by those who dare to create, not by those who wait, because creation is the act of turning thought into reality, while waiting is the habit of surrendering power to circumstances. Those who wait believe that the right time, the right opportunity, or the right resource will arrive to lift them forward, yet time passes and nothing changes. The creators, however, seize the moment, even if imperfect, and shape it into something greater. They understand that success is not a matter of chance, but a product of bold initiative. Creation demands courage, because to create is to step into the unknown, to risk failure, and to challenge convention. Waiting feels safer, but safety never produces growth. Every innovation, every empire, every fortune was born because someone refused to wait and instead dared to bring their vision into existence. Creation is the language of progress, while waiting is the habit of stagnation. Those who dare to create discover that resources appear once action begins, that opportunities reveal themselves to the moving mind, and that the act of beginning generates momentum that waiting never will. Success rewards the bold, not because they are free from fear, but because they act in spite of it, crafting new paths instead of following old ones. The act of creation is not limited to inventions or grand projects. It includes building skills, shaping habits, and crafting strategies that elevate life to higher levels. Each creation adds to the builder's confidence and expands their capacity for even greater success. Waiting erodes confidence, for with each passing day of inaction, doubt grows stronger and the spirit weaker. The creator, on the other hand, strengthens belief by proving through action that ideas can take form. The world belongs to those who make it, not to those who passively watch. Creation requires responsibility, for when you create, you claim ownership of results, whether success or failure. Waiting avoids responsibility, hoping someone else will provide, yet such dependence ensures limitation. Success flows to creators because they understand that value is not discovered but built, and the one who builds value becomes indispensable. Those who dare to create cultivate resilience, for not every attempt succeeds, but every attempt teaches. Failure becomes material for greater creation, and persistence eventually yields results that waiting could never produce. The daring creator lives with energy, fueled by purpose, while the one who waits lives with regret, haunted by chances never taken. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain in mediocrity lies not in talent but in courage. The courage to act, to build, to initiate, and to bring forth from imagination into the world of form. Success belongs to the ones who dare, for creation itself is the highest proof of faith in possibility, success, prosperity. and wealth are never accidents but the deliberate results of how you choose to think, believe, and act. To spend 50 years working only for wages is to remain bound by limitation, but to build vision, discipline, and belief is to step into freedom. Wealth begins in the mind before it exists in the bank, and every moment invested in growth multiplies returns far beyond the safety of routine. Dependence on wages alone chains the spirit, but the courage to create unlocks abundance. True prosperity belongs to those who dare to imagine more, discipline themselves to pursue it, and hold unwavering belief until it becomes reality. The difference between those who remain broke and those who build legacies is not circumstance but mindset, not chance but choice. The power to shape your life does not wait in the hands of others. It begins and ends within you.